Beach Boys and Fun, 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 10 years ago with Brian Wilson and Jim Pewter, and Brian stopped in and...
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Good.
How are you?
Isn't that amazing? That's 10 years old.
I kind of it shocked me. It put a shock up my spine. I couldn't handle that. 10 years ago, and it still feels good. I mean, you know, after all those years.
Yeah.
You know.
We were looking at the Endless Summer album, and Brian just became aware just a few hours ago that the album was doing so well across the country again.
I didn't know.
Huh?
You showed me this chart. You just pulled a chart out and said, look, on the... And I noticed that it hopped on at 84 first week. So, wait a second. We're talking
albums.
about number 19 with a bullet now.
Yeah.
So this will be our first really big album in a long time for us. You know.
Yeah. Should we go back
Yeah.
to about 68 and do it again?
All right.
Yeah, on KRTH with Brian Wilson. Beach Boys. Beach Boys. Brian Wilson with Jim Pewter on KRTH Stereo 101, 1968, written by Brian and Mike Love. Brian, we're going to go back to your first record, 62.
Oh, hi. I forgot we were doing an interview.
Oh, you were
looking at a picture.
That's Groucho over there.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Groucho. He's on a surfboard.
I forgot.
I know this has been asked to you many times about the group, how they got started and everything, but the first hit was a West Coast record called Surfin', and it was in '62. And how did you decide to put, like, you saw the people surfing and put lyrics to it, and how did that come about, the first hit?
We first got my brother Dennis came home from school one day, and he said he goes, well, it looks like surfing's going to be a big craze, and you guys ought to write a song about it, because we were at that time writing songs for friends for school assemblies. So it happened that we wrote a song about surfing due to Dennis's suggestion. So we ended up doing that, you know. And from there, we kept going on the surf bandwagon, because we figured that it was going to be a hot craze, and sure enough, it happened for us, you know. But it was sort of because of my brother. He kind of got us going, you know. And he didn't really know. I mean, he just took a chance. He didn't know what was going to happen, you know. But so there it was, you know, by chance.
Yeah, this was the first.
Surfing is the only life, the only way for me. Now surf with me.
Beach Boys 62, Brian Wilson special with Jim Pewter.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Hello again, Brian. How are you?
Oh, for God's sakes.
I talked to Brian on the phone. It must have been about a month ago. And I said, pick out some of your favorite hits from the past, or anything you want to bring in. And you brought in a record by the Cadets. Well, you didn't bring it in. I brought it in. But it's a song
Kenny
called...
and the Cadets.
Is that who it was?
That was the group was called Kenny and the Cadets.
Yeah.
And at that time we were just getting going with a publisher friend of ours, my father, and I and the guys, and this guy had this great song, and I don't remember the song. I just cannot remember that song. What's the name of the song?
Stranded in the Jungle.
Oh. Wait, no, that's not the one we cut with Kenny and the Cadets.
Oh. You mean you went by the name of Kenny?
Yeah.
Were you Kenny?
I was Kenny, and the guys were the Cadets.
When was this?
1961. My mom. Well, hey, this is a long story. It was a friend of mine, and my mother and I did a demo for somebody under that name, but I can't.
Well, here's another Cadet story, right? Back in the jungle.
You don't know what
Recently started running.
That's Little Deuce Coupe. Beach Boys, Brian Wilson special with Jim Pewter on KRTH. We were just talking about, I asked Brian if he's written any new songs recently, and he was explaining to me how he gets into kind of a pattern on the piano and lay down some rhythm tracks. And when you went into cut tunes like Little Deuce Coupe, for instance, Brian, back in 63. Yeah. Was it all live when you would cut these, or would you lay a track down in those days? Do you remember?
Sometimes if we were too lazy to, like, let's say, write a song, that in the words where we would put a musical track. We would create. Let's say take Little Honda.
Yeah.
Okay, we would do the background track for it. Okay, in the chords pattern, and then when we'd listen to it, we'd say, "Wow, what I get some ideas. Hey, I'm hearing these kind of words." All of a sudden, we'd run in there and we'd be writing a song to that track. I mean, we would have a feeling to work with, and that's what we do sometimes.
With the Cars songs like Little Deuce Coupe, lyrics were written by Roger Christian, and Roger was into the Cars and that. And then there was another song that came out a year later, which has really become a classic in rock radio. Don't Worry, Baby.
Oh,
Love that song.
Roger and I spent more evenings up behind KFWB. He was like a really kind of a guiding light for me. I'd go over there. He'd get off at midnight, okay?
Yeah.
He'd do a night show from 9 to 12, right? We go to all those, and we'd get a hot fudge sundae. We'd sit there for hours talking, writing lyrics, just kind of hashing, and like all of a sudden, like, he and I must have written 15 songs.
Let's put Roger's lyrics and your melody back again, huh?
All right.
Yeah, on KRTH. National anthem of rock and roll. That's Rock Around the Clock. Bill Haley on the Brian Wilson Special. Jim Pewter on KRTH, Stereo 101.
Hi, Jim.
How are
you?
Brian?
Fine.
Were you playing on that record?
On Rock Around the Clock?
Yeah.
No, I was tapping my foot.
I see.
When I was 12, I think.
you were
When I
12.
was 12, I was tapping my foot like crazy to that thing.
That was probably one of the first records that we bought when we were like, 11, 12 years old.
Somewhere around there. Rock Around the Clock was shocked me. I mean, I was so electrified by that experience that some of my friends were saying, "Hey, you got to hear this new record, Rock Around the Clock." And we bought it and we come home and listened to it and we were screaming, "Oh no, this is it." We really were onto it.
And it was like another hit record just a few months ago, 20 years old, and it's back on the charts. So many things
Really?
are timeless, yeah.
Well, that sold something like, I think, 12 million records at the time it was released.
Made a lot of people dance. Should we dance with the Beach Boys?
All righty.
Yeah, on KRTH? I like that. Brian Wilson Special with Jim Pewter, KRTH, Stereo 101. About 64, Dance, Dance, Dance. And Carl playing lead, right?
Yep, he
I like
was
that.
playing lead, and Mike was he did the lead on that vocal, and I was playing. I think I played the bass on that one,
Yeah.
and Dennis was on drums, and
Brian, besides writing and producing all these tunes, you developed a style of singing in a falsetto, kind of a style that has been your trademark through the years. How did you develop that?
Okay. Have you ever? There was a group called the Four Freshmen. I don't know if you know, you know them, right?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I used to listen to their music all the time. I'd come home from school, lock myself in a room, and listen to this group, and I practiced that high. I wanted to see if I could go as high as he could, so I'd practice. So my range went up. I don't know, something like a bunch of notes, than it would have been if I hadn't done that. So it was easy for me to do falsetto. So I did the falsetto stuff with the guys, because it was easy to, after practicing to the Four Freshmen records,
What instrument were you practicing with when you were developing this style? Was it like a lead guitar
Organ.
or a bass? It
Organ.
was, huh? Yeah.
Played organ then, and piano, and usually those two. But actually, I didn't really use an instrument at that time. I'd sit there on a chair and sing to the hi-fi.
Do it, Rock
Exciting show. Singing to Four Freshmen records, but
More memories. The Brian Wilson Special. Here's Surfer Girl, 63. Beach Boys, 63. Brian Wilson Special with Jim Pewter on KRTH, Stereo 101, Surfin' USA. Lyrics by... That was your lyrics, right, Brian?
Chuck Berry wrote that song.
Right.
It was called "Sweet Little 16."
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when we first got going, Mike was sort of a Chuck Berry fan, so we took one of Chuck's songs and he and I turned the lyrics into a surfing song and got that going.
And that record, Surfin' USA, is a hit record again.
I guess so. It's going to be a little freaky for me to see that, but
Like I was-
Nevertheless, I can accept it, you know.
Like I was mentioning to you before, when you look at like the Billboard Hot 100, which lists all the current hit records, is it kind of like a dream sequence when you kind of see it in there with artists like Neil Young and things? I mean,
Yeah,
a record like
it-
Surfin' USA?
It definitely makes me think I'm dreaming because I see the title. Okay, now I've seen that title before. Okay, on another chart sometime in another year somewhere before, and then I see it again, and I think, huh, that again, you know, but with a new kind of thing happening, you know. And it just seems weird. And I'm almost more aware that, hey, there are songs sitting right in there with all these other songs. It just sort of, I don't know, shocks me. It gives me a shock, you know. I mean, when I go through shocks, I go, oh, I go through shocks, you know.
I hope you don't go through a shock on this next one.
Okay.
It's Be True to Your School.
Oh,
What kind of a memory does that bring back for you?
oh, that fries my brain. I mean, that brings back some heavy memories, you know.
Yeah. The lyric about the cheerleaders.
Now, that's one lyric I wish everyone would pass on and just
Yeah.
listen to the music.
When some outragger tries to put me down.
Brian Wilson special with Jim Pewter on K-Earth, Stereo 101. That's Be True to Your School. And that was around 63. Brian, you picked out a tune by a group called the Crystals, a song called Uptown, as we're kind of reminiscing in the past. And this song was produced by Phil Spector, and
You know,
you admired some of his work, didn't you?
of the works I remember, yeah.
Mm.
It's hard to remember some of them. I think that was one of his Crystal records, I think. One of my favorites that I've ever, you know, had.
He gets up each morning.
Beach Boys, and Little Honda, tune that Brian wrote back about October of 64. This is Jim Pewter on K-Earth, Stereo 101. When's the last time you were on a Honda, Brian?
Let's see, trying to, a few years ago,
Yeah.
when I crashed my Honda.
You did?
I fell off a bike.
Did you have a helmet on?
Yeah, I didn't get hurt real bad. I ran into a palm tree, side of a palm tree, and I fell off it. I never went riding since. I decided not to after that.
What we're going to do right now is play a recording by a group called the Beatles. And this is a song called I Want to Hold Your Hand. This was probably their first big smash.
This was their first in America, their first giant that they ever had. It's the one that made them popular.
Yeah. And at this time, the Beach Boys were on the charts with like I Get Around and a lot of the 64 hits. So we'll put them back together again.
All right.
The Beatles. Brian Wilson special with Jim Pewter. That's Help Me Rhonda. About 1964.
Yes, in the middle part of that year we did that song.
Yeah.
That's somewhat like a Phil Spector approach,
Mhm.
and it has harmonicas like in that record Fannie Mae.
Yeah, the
It
Buster Brown record.
brings back a few memories.
Who was playing harmonica on that? Do you remember, Brian?
Who played harmonica on that?
Mm.
I don't remember.
Mhm.
I don't remember. I think some musician that we hired, not one of the guys.
Yeah.
None of us could play harmonica.
Did you have a particularly favorite studio that you would cut in a lot of these early sides, or did you experiment with different studios around town?
Well, we went to at least 10 of the studios around town. That I preferred a studio called Western Recorders on 5000 Sunset Boulevard that seemed to have the best echo chamber for what we like to do vocally. It had a good balanced echo. I mean, for high and low voice, you know, it really good fat echo. And but RCA Victor has a good studio. Sunset Sound is great.
If you just tuned in, by the way, this is Jim Pewter on K-Earth with Brian Wilson, and we started back in Brian's career with some of the early surfing records, and we're going to work our way all the way up to Pet Sounds and even to the California Saga cut a little bit later on. And we played tunes like Uptown the Crystals and Rock Around the Clock with Bill Haley. And we got a tune right now called "Why Do Fools Fall in Love," the original by Frankie Lyman. Yeah. You want to hear it?
Yes.
Okay.
Why do fools fall in love? Why do birds sing? Knows what I
Love that record. Brian Wilson Special with Jim Pewter on K-Earth. That's God Only Knows, and that was from such a great album, Pet Sounds.
That album went left. Well, some people were kind of shocked by it that a group like the Beach Boys would all of a sudden thrust into orchestration, using violins and French horns and things,
Where did you kind of set the foundation for the Pet Sounds material? Was that done at your home?
That was done in a place. Where did I live? Somewhere in Beverly Hills, up on it's a weird road called Laurel Way, and I had this view of the city, and I don't know. I guess I got thinking about, I listened to a lot of records. I had a jukebox there, and I'd play all these records, at night, and I had a lot of time to think, and I just started experimenting with a new thing, new horizon. And if I hadn't have had a house like it, I couldn't have done it. You see, if you want to do something, you have to have time to do it, and you got to have a place to do it. You got to at least have a place of your own if you're gonna want to do something. Like, can you imagine writing Pet Sounds in like a train station or something? Oh, excuse me, I'm writing a song. or being at home alone. It's really difficult to do anything unless you have a time period alone.
So the environment is important for your creativity.
Oh, you have no idea. I tried to work, around people, and I can do it. And it's a little hard, When I go alone, I can think, and I can get some stuff together.
We're going to play a cut right now by the Righteous Brothers. Were you at any of their sessions when Phil was producing for them?
No. I never. I saw Bill Medley once down at a studio, but I never really saw them work together at a studio, no. I know that they recorded You've Lost That Love and Feeling. That was one of their records. Is that the one you're going to play?
Yeah.
Great.
You never close your eyes anymore.
Beach Boys on a Brian Wilson special on K-Earth Stereo 101. This is Jim Pewter reminiscing with Brian, cruising up and down Sunset Strip. Another kind of a car song that we used to call them back then, huh? I remember I put together one time, Brian, a lot of your tunes and some of the other car songs. We call it a car club special.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to listen to that. Was that some time ago?
Yeah.
Oh, the Overseas Radio.
Right. We got a song here called All Summer Long.
Yeah.
You recorded with
Beach Boys.
Yeah. And this was, I remember it was in the movie American Graffiti. Did you see that film? When the
No.
credits are coming
No.
up at the end, they have this song playing. And the thing about it was, I remember that American Graffiti was supposed to be about 62 and all the events in 62, but you didn't record this till 64.
No.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it was in an album, I think. All of a sudden, though, that's what was kind of just, I don't know, All Summer Long album. And there was a song in there called All Summer Long, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to play that?
Sure.
Oh, that song, I'm telling you, we had more fun on that cut.
Really? Brian, where did you grow up?
In Hawthorne, out by the beach. It was 3 miles from the beach coast, which was let's see, from the south coast of the ocean, where Palos Verdes, about 12 miles. 12 miles north of there, and 3 miles east of the beach, somewhere towards South Bay, Hawthorne. It was a little town out there. No sidewalks. No sidewalks until no sidewalks until we grew up, and then they finally had sidewalks for us there. It was really kind of weird. We'd mow the lawn. The lawn would taper down to the street. It was really weird, but finally we got a sidewalk.
Yeah. You were a close family, weren't you?
Yeah, we I guess we were, my father passed away, last year. He was strong on he mixed a lot of our records. You know, he mixed almost all of our early records, surfing records, and he'd be at the studio, and he was our producer, I guess. You know, yeah, he was. You know, he was our producer. Really, didn't ever get credit. You know, but he kind of had. Yeah, he thought of us as a family. He really did. You know, he told us to tighten up a bit. You know, but.
Offered some discipline in the beginning, right? Yeah.
Really, you know,
Yeah.
and if we didn't do it, he'd really get mad, you know. And he, you know, but we do it, you know, the best we could. It was almost like a pep talk, you know. You'd say, "Okay, you guys, now you're slacking off. Now tighten up a bit, you know." And sure enough, we did, you know.
When the records started getting play and Surfin' Safari and Surfin' USA became hit records, did it change your life immediately, or did you enjoy the success right from the beginning? Was it hectic?
No. Well, okay, the guys were in school, you know, in high school when we first started out, right? Okay, high school. Right out of high school, the last year of school. Didn't even graduate school and on a national chart. I mean, that's, you know, for a kid, that's quite a change, you know. So that tightened things up for our family quite a bit, you know. Just the overall, we were three brothers, you know, and tightened up, really, it did tighten up, you know, because of the fact that we realized, well, now we have a chance to go places, and we really, you know, tightened up to do it, you know, because we saw that our first record, Surfin', made it, and when Surfin' USA broke in the national charts, everyone was under kind of a shock, I think, you know. So we tightened up our attitude. We tightened up the idea that we could get down to something that had meant something. So we just got our heads into music, you know.
Let's depart from the Beach Boys just for a minute, and
All right.
you want to hear a tune by Maxine Brown. This is one of your favorite sides. Oh No, Not My Baby.
Oh yeah, please. Oh yeah, play it, please.
K-Earth, Brian Wilson special with Jim Pewter.
Oh.
29, 30, how hot? About 33?
Got up to 33.
Did it?
That time.
And that was it. Couldn't hear it after that?
No.
This is Jim Pewter with Brian Wilson, and we're...
Jesus.
Huh?
Woo! Heavy.
Yeah.
Oh,
When I Grow Up to Be a Man. I got In My Room next, Brian.
oh. Yeah, that.
Any-
That one. The title. You like the title?
Yeah, I do. People can relate to that.
Let's hear that.
All right. K-Earth. Beach Boys, In My Room.
There's a world
It was from the Party album, wasn't it, Brian?
Yep, that came from 1965 when
Yeah.
we made this party album.
This is Jim Pewter on K-Earth with Brian Wilson.
Old Dean Torrance came by that night. He dropped by. He was singing, in fact, the high voice with me. I don't know if anyone knew that. That was Dean from Jan and Dean singing along there. And he just walked in and we said, "Hey, sit down, come on, sit down, Dean, sit in this chair, come on, sit down and sing." And he did. He sat down. And, whew. Well, we had these
crazy.
girls come by. They were shouting, you know. I don't know. It was pretty hectic that night.
Did they have to sign releases?
Yeah, they all had to sign a release before we let them go. But that one they pulled off the album and snuck it out on us. We didn't know that was going to be a single.
I bet that surprised you, huh?
I shocked me. It did very well, and we didn't expect that to happen. But that was November of 1965, I think, that we released that, and we had potato chips and dip and stuff around, you know, for the atmosphere, and
Yeah. What kind of dip?
box
do you
guitars and stand-up bass. I think we used and drums.
Brian,
Hmm?
what kind of dip do you like with potato chips? Do you like onion?
I love onion, French onion dip.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
the
it.
best.
French onion or blue cheese
Blue
dip.
cheese. I don't
Love
care
that.
for that too much. The blue cheese.
Do you like Fritos, that kind of stuff?
I don't like.
Fritos and
I don't like
chips
dip
and all
with Fritos though. I like.
Yeah.
I like just a regular, like a big potato chip with some onion dip on
I
it.
love that.
Yeah.
God, I love that.
Why don't we call out for some and listen to
All right.
Honky Tonk Woman?
Okay.
All right. Stones. on K Earth, Stereo 101. Oh, dropped my chip.
The sound of the city, baby, seems to disappear. Oh, and I can hear music.
Picked up on that.
I like that. Beach Boys. I Can Hear Music with Brian Wilson.
My brother.
What's Carl singing lead on that?
He just snuck up and just really blew my mind, you know.
Uh-huh.
That was his. He heard the I guess the Ronette version that Jeff Berry wrote, and he liked the song because I don't think that song was that particular one did not go or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Hey, let's do that." And he did. He produced that himself, and I wasn't really on that record there. You know, that surprises me. I haven't heard that in a long, long time. You know.
You probably haven't heard it since it was released.
No, yeah. How many years ago? Because I think I'm going to play that for him. He'd probably be surprised to hear his own thing now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but Jeff and those guys, I don't know. He worked on a lot of Ronette stuff. Carl liked it, did it.
We're going to play Gordon Lightfoot right now on K Earth.
Oh, good.
Hits here for Gordon. Good vibrations. Oh, we just stepped out for a little while. That potato chip guy ever come by?
We might not. He might have, but we might not have answered the door.
Well,
No. Let me see. Hold it. We should call for some chips, though. Really.
no.
I'm hungry. I
Okay.
mean,
If you just tuned in, by the way, it's a Brian Wilson special, and I'm Jim Pewter on K Earth. Let's see what I
And,
got here. I got Wouldn't It Be Nice?
off. Oh, really? Off of the Pet Sounds album?
This is a great tune.
Okay, roll.
Wouldn't it be nice?
That's Wouldn't It Be Nice on K Earth, Stereo 101.
I've been in this town so long that back in the city I've been taking for.
That's Heroes and Villains with the Beach Boys. I'm Jim Pewter on K Earth Stereo 101. It's a Brian Wilson special. From the album Wild Honey, here's Darlin'. Sailing back with Sloop John B. Whoa! Uh-oh. Brian Wilson.
That thing really
Huh?
goes. I mean, that thing we had a piccolo on that thing,
Yeah.
and a flute playing those high notes on that. And that was Al Jardine's idea. He suggested doing that song. He loved it. The Kingston Trio had a version, and he said, "Let's do that song." It was all his idea, his conception for the bag.
When you stopped performing, it was rumored at one time that Glenn Campbell toured as a Beach Boy. Is that true?
That was supposed to have been true. I never really knew for sure if he did go with him. Apparently, when I quit, he took my place and went for about half a year. Then Bruce Johnston, another guy, took his place, and he joined permanently for several years, and then he finally left the group. But Glenn then got his own TV show, as you know, and was doing really good, which was good for Glenn, you know, because he always wanted that, you know, that kind of a show, and he got it, you know. But I don't know. The guys are always going someplace, always working, and I never really know where they are. I never have an itinerary, but they now and then ask me, "Hey, would you like to come with us? Would you like to do a show?" And I usually don't. I shy away from it, you know. If I were in shape and I wasn't overweight like I am now, I'd do it, you know. If I could lose some weight, I'd be on stage.
You would?
I would do it.
Yeah.
I really would. I'd play organ or something, you know. But I'm overweight. It's my problem at the time, you know. And that can be a problem, you know. So I don't do it.
Brian, let's pick out a cut from the Holland album on K Earth right now. Sail on Sailor.
Okay.
I sail an ocean on my way to sunny California. On my way to spend another sunny day. People there love to see and share the newfound liberty.
Beach Boys, and that's On My Way to California. This has been Jim Pewter along with Brian Wilson, reminiscing for the past couple of hours. Brian, I thank you for really coming by and just reminiscing and going back to the surf days and the car songs, and kind of worked all our way through the Good Vibrations era and up to California Saga.
Thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity to come down and to talk with you. And I listen to the show quite often, and so do a lot of my friends. And I just think it's the current show, and I get off listening. I really do.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I wish you all the best, Brian. I know that you're working on some new material, and you're a positive and a good force in the world today with your music, and you're one of the great talents, and I just wish you continued success and happiness in whatever you do. I really mean that.
Thank you very much, and I'll see you the next time we meet.
All right.
Bye.